Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Their names were said right. However, you want to scooch just a tad bit closer. There we go. There we go. Okay. Ow, fucking shit. All right. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Cheyenne.
And I'm Heather.
And on today's murder menu is
a duo couple, Brady and Myra Hindley, aka the Moore Killers. But first, some trigger warnings.
Oh yeah.
SA, murder, pedophilia, and language.
Very much language.
Yes.
Viewer discretion is advised. Serious, guys. It's definitely advised.
Yeah, because I'm just going to say it. These two can fuck straight the hell off. Like,
Damn. Damn. All right. Myra Hindley, born July 23rd, 1942, in Manchester, England. She went to live with her grandma after the drowning of a close male friend. At 15, Hindley quit school and converted to Roman Catholic and started a secretary job. So, fairly peachy for the most part, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Brady was born January 2nd, 1938, in Glasgow, Scotland, to a single mother named Peggy Stout. Ian's father was unknown. Peggy worked 2 jobs, often leaving Ian alone while she went to work. At 4 months old, Peggy would unofficially give up Ian for adoption. Peggy would visit Ian often until he was 12. Ian was a loner kid. Ian would also develop a bad habit of petty crimes and burglary.
So basically, your every average killer pretty much starts out with petty crimes and B&E.
Yeah.
All right. So to avoid jail, he went to live with his mother and stepdad. Ian tried to adapt to a normal life, even taking his stepfather's last name. Unfortunately, it was short-lived. Ian would get into trouble and be sentenced to strange way. We're going to go with it. Prison at 17.
Shortly after his release in 1961, Ian and Myra would meet. Brady was a stock boy and Myra was a secretary, and the couple would fall in love.
Or
romance made in hell.
Well, so what I gathered is basically she opened herself completely up to Brady, so like she was considered vulnerable, which is bullshit. She had a voice. She could have said no. She liked it. And this is where it starts to get a little
agitating.
Yes. July 12th, 1963, Pauline Reed, 16, was on her way to a dance. When she was approached by Hindley, Hindley convinced Pauline to get into their car, lured her by asking Pauline to help her find a glove. That's a new one.
Yeah, out of all the...
Can you help me find a glove?
Out of everybody we've talked about, I've never heard that used.
I mean, it's original.
I mean,
they're talking to kids too. You have to understand they weren't able to communicate on an adult level. They had to go after children, and children aren't going to question it. They're going to be like, "Oh, of course, yes, I'll help you."
Right.
So
and back then, they didn't think women could commit murder or even be a part of it.
Honestly, I didn't think so either till I started to like really get into these cases, and then I'm like, well, shit.
There's
we some sick bitches.
I'm telling you, some of the women that I've heard about,
Mm-hmm.
they're more sick than most of the men.
I mean, I agree, and this is definitely one of them because, like,
yeah, she's a sick bitch.
She participated, and I'm highly doubting that it was all Brady's idea to do the things that was done. Yeah, I don't.
She then drove her and Pauline to Saddleworth Moor on the edge of Manchester. Brady would later arrive on his motorbike.
Motorcycle, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's motorbike. I guess
Yeah.
that would be the term in England, but
Right.
we're in Ohio, we're in the United States, it's a motorcycle.
Motorbike, I'm thinking one of those bikes like my next door neighbor has that has the motor attached.
I mean, it could be.
Or a motorized scooter.
Well, damn. I would definitely say not scooter, motorized bike, probably.
I mean, he's trying to attract little kids, but better than a bicycle with a motor attached. This guy, not my neighbor.
So I thought that's what you meant, but like we weren't discussing Brady at that moment. You were like, there was a comparison. I'm like, I'm glad we clarified it. Her neighbor is not a pedophile or a stalker
not by any means.
Or murderer. He just might be a little weird.
He's actually really nice.
Alrighty then. Good old motorbike.
Now that we got that clarified.
Yeah.
Pauline was sexually assaulted and her throat was cut twice.
So I'm thinking, Myra participated in the sexual assaults. Ian definitely admitted that Amara was involved, even though Amara tried to say, oh no, I didn't do it, I waited in the car, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking that Pauline was it was his first kill.
Yeah.
So the first cut was probably a hesitation. Or he didn't cut it deep enough.
Oh, God, yeah.
So then...
That makes sense.
Then the second slash, he got it right. Because I don't think they intended to kill her. I would say I don't think they intended to kill, but then something just switched, and unfortunately that's what happened.
It was an accident, and then they figured out they liked it.
I'm thinking that might have been, what I think personally happened in the murder is he held the knife to her throat as they were assaulting her.
Yeah.
And then the second one was just the final blow. Piece of shit. Her body was not found until 1987 when the couple confessed to her murder. Ian admits Myra was involved in the sexual assault, but Myra claims she waited in the car. Here's the thing. I don't think Ian's just going to say, oh, yeah, she participated if she really didn't participate.
Unless he was thinking, I'm going down, I'm taking this bitch with me.
She loved Brady. Well, she loved Ian so much that I think that it was just a fantasy he wanted. And then it come to the realization that she enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
In some way, she enjoyed it. Which is completely disgusting. But out of all the cases we do, like the necrophiliacs and stuff, I would have to say this one got my blood boiling just because it involved.
Just like me and you were talking earlier, it has so much comparisons to Carla Homolka and Paul Bernardo.
Except, here's the thing, I think these guys might have taken the cake.
I
mean, Paul Bernardo by himself being, the rapist.
Yeah.
Doesn't compare to it. But the couple, once again, the woman being submissive. But here's the thing.
There's
But here's the thing, though. There's a difference between being submissive and just downright liking it.
Agreed.
Oh, you do it once, and then you come to find out that you like it and you continuously do it. That's not submission. That's you like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're at now. Like, they liked it.
June 16th, 1964, Keith Burnett. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Bennett, excuse me. He was age 12.
He was 12 while Keith was walking to his grandma's house in
Longside.
in the Longside area of Manchester. Hindley lured him into her mini pickup, where the couple used the same glove method, where they sexually assaulted him and then strangled him.
Once again, the glove.
Yeah, what is up with the glove?
But here's my thing, is victimology is kind of all over the place. They started out with a girl, then they went boy.
Right.
But then they go back to girl, but then they go back to boy.
Right, and they say most serial killers stick to one gender.
That's why I'm thinking that... I'm thinking that Ian liked the girls and Myra liked the boys.
That's what I was thinking. Since it goes girl, boy, it's one for him, one for her, one for him, one for her.
Yeah. Except Ian took it one step farther and enjoyed, I think, the killings. I don't think Myra really enjoyed the killings, because he said that she didn't participate in the killings. She just participated in the sexual assaults.
Right.
So I don't think that... But here's the thing. She knew their fate before she picked them up or lured them back to where she was taking them.
Yeah.
So, to me, they both should have just been hung and dealt with, or shot, or dismembered, or not in prison and waste everybody's taxpayers' money. But that's just me. November 23rd, 1967, John Kilbride, 12. So Myra lured John from a market where he had been working in Ashton under Lane. She offered to take him home, but the couple suggested a detour to the moor, using the exact same excuse to help look for a fucking glove. He was sexually assaulted, strangled. His body was not found until October of 1965.
I am really wanting to know what the significance of this damn glove is.
His body was never found. Yeah. I don't know what it is with the freaking glove, y'all. I mean, I guess it beats candy. Here, get in my car and I'll give you candy.
I have heard, can you help me find my puppy? Do you want some candy? I have a job that you could do.
Yeah.
I mean, I have never heard of a fucking glove. Like,
I really don't know. I don't know where we were going at with this. Like, I don't know where the hell they were going at with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, but once again, they targeted innocent individuals. They didn't target anybody, grown-ass people, because you can go look for your motherfucking glove. Like,
right. I didn't lose it.
Right, exactly. Although, I think that they probably, if they were going to go for older individuals, they'd probably have to play the damsel in distress.
Right.
Like, her tire blew, or just something. But for kids, you can basically just tell them anything, and they're susceptible to that.
Yeah. But like you had said, his body was never found despite his mother begging. But Brady never caved. Some say it was a way for Brady to maintain some sort of control. Unfortunately, Keith's mother died without burying her son.
Yeah. Which, at this point, I like to think that it was some form of a game. Because he was caught, like...
He didn't want to do it, but
he was caught red-handed. You know, there was, why not admit, or why not tell them where his body is, you know? Why not say something? But he never caved. December 26th of 1964, Leslie Ann Downing, and I do believe she was 10. I know she wasn't very old. I know she's their youngest victim, which really irks me what they did to this little girl, but let's get into it. The couple took Leslie from the fairgrounds during a boxing match where they took her back to the couple's home. So they switched it up with this one. They didn't take her to the moors. They didn't...
Right.
They took her back to their actual home, which is crazy and pretty ballsy.
Well, it's more than likely at this point they knew she wasn't going to...
Yeah, she wasn't going out.
She wasn't going to make it home.
Right.
They tied her up and stripped her and forced her to pose for photos. Sick bastards. They then recorded her pleading for her life. The 16-minute video recording was played in the courtroom. That is fucking disgusting.
So she pleaded for her life, begged them not to touch her, begged them. She wanted her mom, you know.
I don't understand how they could allow that to be played in the courtroom. Because you could almost guarantee this sick fuck got off on it the whole time that shit was playing.
Oh, without a doubt. He most likely did. Because what... Here's the thing, though. This is the only victim that they recorded.
Yeah.
So at this point, makes you wonder if it was just all an experiment to see what they liked, what they didn't like, you know. But this is the only victim they recorded, which is frequently kind of weird, but she also was the youngest of the victims. October 6th, 1965. Edward Evans, 17. Edward was an apprentice engineer. He was lured back to the couple's home where Brady killed Edward in front of his brother-in-law, whom he was trying to recruit. So at this time, he was trying to make a duo into a trio.
Right.
Which would be very, very weird, especially with your girlfriend's brother whom y'all sexually assault. I don't understand how that would work. But I mean, y'all ain't right in the head anyways. So he was trying to recruit, his girlfriend's brother. Oh, I guess brother-in-law, so they would have been married at this point. Or brother, yeah, whatever. Smith witnessed Brady beating Edward 14 times. So he bludgeoned him 14 times with a hatchet before strangling Edward. Smith called the police, and Edward's body was found wrapped in plastic.
After the arrest, the police found books on sadism. Of course they did.
Mm-hmm.
And also found plans on how to dispose of Evan's body. And the name of John Kilbride came up written in a notebook. The police also tracked down 2 suitcases, which was owned by Brady. After finding the left luggage, the cases contained nude photos of Leslie Ann Dowdy and also the horrific rape of her and her begging and pleading for her mom.
Yes. So basically, when they went in to search the home, they found train tickets. And so they tracked him down, and that's where they found the luggage that contained. So it's almost to me like a getaway bag.
Yeah.
They almost knew they were going to get caught, or they knew that it was a risk that he was taking with her brother. So they had getaway bags, go bags, as you would like to call them. Both Brady and Hindley pleaded guilty at their trial in April of 66. Brady was 28 when he was given 3 concurrent life sentences for killing Edward Evans, Leslie, and John Kilbride. Hindley was given 2 life sentences with an additional 7 years as an accessory in the murder of John Kilbride. The couple managed to escape the death penalty because it was abolished in early 1965. Here's my thing.
They should have brought it back just for them.
There should have been a stipulation. Like, there should have been they should have just dealt with, like, one day, one time, special circumstances. These 2 are monsters. Why continuously keep them in prison?
Absolutely.
Because here's the thing. Had they gotten a lawyer, or had their case been reopened and one piece of evidence been fucked up, and could have thrown the whole case out. So if the case would have got thrown out, you'd have 2 freaking monsters back on the streets again.
Yeah.
Who are completely and utterly normal, or appear completely and utterly normal at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's nothing normal about these 2.
Oh, God, no. Not at all.
It was not until 1985 when Brady confessed to the killing of Pauline Reid?
Yeah.
Reid and Keith Bennett. Brady spent his final years on a hunger strike, where he was force-fed at Ashworth psychiatric. I could not say that right. Psychiatric hospital, where he died in 2017, and Hindley died in prison of pneumonia in 2002.
So here's my thing. Why force feed him?
Exactly.
If the motherfucker want to die, let him die. If he want to starve himself to death, let him starve himself to death. Because that's actually a very painful way to go. Why force feed him? I think it was for attention, because honestly, if he wanted to kill himself, he could have just hung himself. It would have been quicker. There's literally, like, nothing spared for these individuals at all.
Yeah, I think this is...
And, you know, him wanting to go on a hunger strike or whatever. And why put him in a psychiatric hospital? The motherfucker was sane.
He was very sane.
There's no way. I would have became one of those doctors called Angel of Death or whatever.
Angel of Death.
Except I wouldn't have tried to save him. Put an air bubble in his line or something.
I was literally thinking the same thing.
Give him an aneurysm. I wouldn't have wasted it. And her dying of pneumonia, I would have given her fake antibiotics. I wouldn't even have tried to treat it.
Yeah. I mean, people's going to start to think we're crazy.
I mean, typically, I would be like, yeah, they deserve the death penalty. Yeah, no, I would have took the no. Just because, like, why kids? That's my thing.
I would have done firing squad. But I would have let the family members be the shooters.
I mean, that's not a bad idea, but if we're talking about killing them, I'd rather kill them slowly, because look at what their victims had to suffer through.
Yeah, but the family would have got the satisfaction.
True. I'm more of a slow type of person, so.
Well, so am I, but in this case, I would have let the family do it.
The horror that those kids had to face.
Yeah.
From just two ordinary people. Ordinary. Like, nothing stood out. Nothing screamed, these are psycho motherfuckers. Nothing. None of that. But, that's the thing with serial killers is a lot of them are very silent and can just read a room and no problem. But I think it was easier for Hindley to pick up the victims than it was for Ian to pick up the victims.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you see a woman talking to a child, you're not going to think anything about it. You see a man talking to a child, and it's going to raise a lot of questions. Like, why are you talking? Why are you this? That, and I don't think that the children would have been as comfortable with getting into a vehicle with just any random man. So I think she played a part in it, and I think she should have gotten the same amount of time as he did. Because she could have stopped. She could have went to the cops. She could have prevented it, to be honest. But she's a sick fuck, and she liked it.
I agree.
I thought Ken and Barbie, I really thought...
As much as I hate the Ken and Barbie people,
yeah,
I hate these people more. And that's hard for me to say because I cannot fucking stand
I can't stand them either, but here's the thing. The Ken and Barbie killers, they had no shame at all.
No.
He had no shame. He literally walked in the cop station and was a suspect on multiple different occasions and didn't bat an eye. These people, most likely just started out as an experiment, and then they liked it too much. And then they got ballsy and decided to start taking victims back to their home, which, thank God, the idiot was stupid enough to try and recruit somebody else. Otherwise, they probably would have went on longer.
I don't understand why they would have needed to recruit a third person.
Here's the thing. I'm fairly certain her brother was 17.
Yeah, it said he was 17.
Right. So here's the thing. I'm almost fairly positive that Ian had a thing for little boys. So, with that being said, what I think in his mindset was going to happen is he was going to recruit him and kind of push Myra out of the picture.
Gotcha.
So those two could have their sexual encounters with one another, but also their victims. Luckily,
see, I was thinking he was 17, he would be able to bring in girls.
I mean, could be. I mean, he liked. It seems to appear that they liked both sexes. But I'm just thinking Ian was a little gay. And I think he was looking more into Myra's brother as a sexual companion / partner. Because being 17, you wouldn't be able to offer too much with the little kids. It would have to have been younger. But then again, a young kid recruiting victims, people seeing them talking, wouldn't raise so much suspicion. Right. So, there's that, too. But I still can't believe, I can't believe they let these guys basically walk. I mean, they didn't walk, but let them just live out their days with three meals and a cot.
Yep.
I tell you what, they're nicer than they wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes in prisons over here.
No, not a chance in hell.
Mm-mm. They either would have died from suicide or they would have been murdered. There's just, it's the cases where the killer gets to just live their life as nothing happened. Yeah, they're locked up, but they get to just live it every day. That's really not justice for any of the victims' families.
No.
It's really not. But as much as I could continuously go on, I'm going to say that's going to be a wrap on this week's episode. Once again, I'm Cheyenne.
And I'm Heather.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. We are on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Audible, and then I think that Podbean. We're on Podbean too.
Yeah.
I think that is just about it. But yeah. New episode Sunday. Bye, guys.